Right, now the next part of today's lesson is also about animals, but we're going to find out a little bit more about how animals can actually help human beings. For example, you may have seen somebody who has eyesight problems, who's partially sighted or blind, who has a guide dog. You may have seen some of the adverts on the television recently about sponsoring a guide dog puppy. You may even be sponsoring a guide dog puppy yourself. You might have seen a program about some very large black birds with long beaks, and they're called cormorants. Now, the cormorant can be trained by fishermen to catch fish. It dives down into the ocean, swallows loads of fish, comes back up, gets onto the boat next to the fisherman, then puts the fish into a basket, and then at the end of its shift, the fisherman lets the cormorant have some fish to eat as a reward. So that's an example of an animal helping a human. You might have seen, let me think, the TV series Merlin that's being repeated at the moment, or Game of Thrones, or other programs like that, where they have horses that are trained as stunt horses. They're trained to be fearless when knights are galloping towards each other in battle, or when loud noises are going off and they don't panic and run away. And the horses are trained to roll over and not hurt themselves and do all sorts of incredible stunt maneuvers. So that's an animal that's being trained to help in the film industry. So what I would like you to do now, and this should take you between 20 and 30 minutes, have a think about animals perhaps you know of that help other human beings in some way or other. Just have a little think now, something perhaps you may have seen. You may know somebody who's got one of these pets. You may have watched one of them at a Suffolk show or anything like that in the past and think, oh yes, I know all about this. So just have a think. And I would like you now to write about 4 different ways animals help human beings. You can choose 4 animals that do different jobs. You might choose the same type of animal that might be used in 4 or 5 different ways to help human beings. You can, as before, use a mind map with lots of colours or from Get Revising. And you may choose to write in paragraphs and include some pictures. That's up to you, but spend a little bit of time thinking about that, and you may come up with some surprising answers. If you look behind me, I have the task here on the board, and there are different sections for you to make sure you've answered. Pause the video now while you complete that task.